morning. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House. We are so happy that you're here. Caregiver Crossing is a podcast created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh.
I'm Terri Stacy, and we're here every week with experts from across the country, providing comfort and resources and hopefully a lot of joy to all of you that are caregivers. And the podcast really serves to embrace family caregivers of today, but also for tomorrow. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here with us once again today.
So one of the keys, Terri, you and I have talked about this a lot, but one of the keys to caring for our aging loved one is to understand the things that worry them. And I would say the things that worry us as we're getting older too. And so, as we get older, we might not feel comfortable raising these concerns with others, especially younger members of the family or people we just don't feel like would understand or who might judge. But it's important that we as family and friends and caregivers have enough awareness to thoughtfully, maybe open the conversation and work with them to address these common concerns. And so I won't quiz you today, Terri. Sometimes I like to give you a pop quiz.
Yes.
I know they're your favorite, but I thought maybe, today you and I said that it would be good for us just to have a conversation. We're going to do a 2-part series here. And this one is about some of those common fears about aging. And then we're going to also have a next podcast that we're going to talk about the things we look forward to as we're aging. So
I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. And I want to ask you, Tina, because I think this is interesting, the thought of when you start to worry about aging. And let me ask you this. You're in your, what are you, 50?
I just turned 50 a couple months ago.
Yeah. Right. And so are you there yet? Are you thinking about aging yet? As far as you may be different because you work among the elderly and care for those that are aging at Joy's House, but are you there yet?
I mean, I think for me, it's a combination. I'll make it a short answer, but yes, because I work around people who are aging or living with some kind of a life-altering diagnosis through our adult day service at Joy's House. The other thing is, I think because of my past health, I mean, Terri, you've been on this journey of my cancers, and I currently have a brain tumor that's not cancerous, but, just so many health things over the years that I've probably thought about aging in a different way. But I will tell you, I just in the last 24 hours visited the zoo with my nieces and my brother. And for the first time, that's right, I used my AARP discount. And I'm not going to lie, I did feel different because my brother's, 9 years younger than I am. And he was like, "Are you serious? Like, congratulations." And I was like, "That's right. I've been reading that magazine for years." But it's happening. It's happening. And, you're a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
And so for you, when did it start happening that you were
Just
thinking
now.
about aging?
Just now. It really has. It has just started to happen. 60 years old and just turned 60 in February. And it has changed me in a way that I am now starting to have those thoughts of aging. And the number one thing I'm thinking about is loss of independence.
Yes. Well,
Loss
you're
of
definitely
independence.
You're not alone. I guess when you think of loss of independence, what does that mean to you? Are you thinking about where you live or what comes to mind?
Yeah, all of that. Loss of independence. It's made me think about I'm living next door to an elderly. My parents, I'm so grateful that they're still here. They're in their 80s, but and living independently. They're both of these people I'm talking about, my family and my neighbors, are living independently. I have 2 independent elderly women on each side of my home here in our neighborhood. And I watch how family members really start to push for you to when they're not around to even though you may think you're independent, but your family is watching you, and sometimes you wonder if it's not more convenient if you're not independent for them, right? For them,
right?
The family is thinking, it'd be greater, it would be better, and maybe a less of a worry if she was in a senior community where she can be, maybe needs assistance from time to time. And so the family's in that direction. And I'm watching the seniors that I know and love, and they're hanging on to their independence, and I'm cheering for them. So that has become in the forefront for me when I think about as I'm getting older.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there are pros and cons to living independently. As a family member, it is almost easier when your loved one is in some kind of a care because there are other people who are responsible for checking on them and making sure things are going smoothly. One of the biggest things that I've heard at Joy's house is when you get your keys taken away.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because let's be honest. I mean, my kids, two of them are driving, and I remember saying to them, just wait, when you get your license, there is a freedom that comes into your life. And so on the other end of life, we have to think about when you're no longer able to drive, that independence and freedom that's taken away. And so that's something I can't imagine is relying on other people to do,
Yeah.
all of the things. For me, I watch a lot of the folks, and I know I'm not alone with this, but I watch a lot of the folks at Joy's house. And one of the things that they are fearing as they're walking through a journey with a diagnosis is becoming a burden on the people around them. They get the love and they get the care and the heart, what people in their lives are doing, but they do get worried about it being heavy because it's not easy to be a caregiver, even if it is beautiful. And so, I know that's a thing. And running out of money is another thing I
Yeah.
hear a lot about.
Yeah. That's a truth because at this moment turning 60, you are starting to think about that. I'm working part-time now. Did we do the right things? Did we make the right investments? I mean, your financial planner is so important to you because they're looking ahead for when you're not really and telling you this is how much you're going to need. I can't tell you how important a financial planner has come into our life to show us in front of us, this is how much you're going to need to live. Once you both retire, and running out of money has become again one of those things that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't like this conversation at all. Can I tell you?
I don't really like it either. I was sitting here as you were talking, that popped into my head too. Like, however, when you know what the fears are, you can make a choice. You can make a choice to address them head on and have an impact on what the consequences are or what the reaction is to things. Or you can pretend they're not issues and somehow, some way they're going to creep up into your life. And I mean, let's be honest, we know that stress that's left unchecked can contribute to a bunch of, health problems. There's high blood pressure and heart disease, obesity, diabetes. I mean, mental illness, like that stress can really get to us, particularly as we get older. And so I think, while you and I are like, oh, I don't like this conversation. It is important to think about these things,
Yeah, you work so hard. You work so hard all your life, and you're like, this should be the golden years, truly, where you're just, living it up, having the time of your life. You've worked, you've sacrificed, you've raised kids, all of these things, and then all of a sudden you turn a certain age, and things start to become a little scarier. But as you said, you start to plan and you think about, you just have to be at the right frame of mind at the right time, right? To look ahead.
When you're saying this is the time when you're like, freedom and living your golden years, I think about all those pictures I've seen, like with the, beautiful older woman with the gigantic sunglasses and the scarf trailing off behind her in the convertible.
Greeting cards, right?
Like, can that be what we do? But I mean, there is a reality to a lot of these things. I know for me, I can tell you one of the things that concerns me personally is health. I've gained a lot of weight in the last few years. I could blame it on a lot of things. Most of them are legit. Some of them are my own doing. But I don't get around as easily as I used to. Like my joints hurt and I have a harder time, doing things than I did even 10 years ago. And so I think about how that kind of stuff can turn. And, you see people who are really struggling with just walking from point A to point B, but there are other things. Like I've got someone in my life who will not travel. And by travel, I mean, won't go half an hour away from his home because he has problems with, quite frankly, with bowels. I mean, and so he's embarrassed to go anywhere. And I hate that because I watch what that has done to his life. This is a man who used to be very active and used to be on the go and social. And now he's very confined to his home because of this issue that his doctors can't help him get control of. And so I think one, we have to be honest with the people in our life, and that includes the medical team. The other is we have to be honest with ourselves and realize what's a fear of something and what's a reality of something. And the other is live it up while we can. I mean, go put on those big sunglasses and that scarf and go for that ride.
So good.
What about, okay, so I'm going to ask you a really heavy question. Terri, for you, what about fear of dying? Is that a thing for you?
Oh, big time, big time. And listen, I am a Christian that believes that there's more to life than what we're experiencing here on earth. I believe in what's to come. And that includes heaven. And what comforts me oftentimes is knowing that when my time comes, I'm going to, because I believe that we will be reunited with those people that we've lost before we were gone, our loved ones and our pets. Right. And I believe that. And I say those words and I think those words. And I oftentimes want that so much to comfort me. But, it's not only about death for myself, but the people that I've loved for, I've been married to my husband, David, for, 36, 37 years now. And I've known him long before that. So it's also about losing him. I counted the other day, I have a picture of 5 of my best girlfriends, and all of them are gone now, but one.
Oh, Terri, I didn't know that.
And so that also comes, and I talked to some of my older friends and my neighbors about this particular topic and about the loneliness that comes when you start losing your friends and those people that you've grown up with. There was a survey there, some study done that was, how many friends do you have now as real friends? And watching those real friends, how you progress through life. And the question was, how many real friends do you have to a millennial? And they counted dozens and dozens, but they also call, people on social media their best friends too. But then the older generation after 65, and they can count, 3 to 4, sometimes 2 and 1 as they get older, real friends that they still have. And it's, that's just a reality. It's part of life. But it is still something that it's still an unknown to you while you're here on earth. You just, that's faith. That's faith.
Well, it is, and I will tell you this. Everything we're talking about, I want to say, yeah, but I mean, you and I are both pretty much those cup half full people, and so I'm like, yeah, and that's going to come in our next segment when we talk about things to look forward to. But, I think these are healthy conversations. And I think if we would talk about this kind of stuff more often with other people, we would find comfort in knowing we're not the only ones who have fears.
Right.
And if you'll stick around for the next podcast, listeners, you will see that there are lots of things to look forward to as we age. And take it from us. I mean, we are 2 AARP card carrying members. And speaking of, I know before we do sponsors, Terri, I do want people to know if there is something that they want more information or resources, or they want us to talk about here on Caregiver Crossing, email me at tina@joyshouse.org. And then Terri, I know you want to thank our sponsors.
Certainly do. Caregiver Crossing, supported by so many great people, Kat Sapper and Miller, KSM, a leading advisory, tax, and audit firm providing the inspiration, the insight, and technical expertise that you need to help you achieve your next great thing. Flanner Buchanan Cremation and Burial, the Indianapolis Funeral Homes of Flanner Buchanan have been helping families plan the final farewell for nearly 150 years, providing comfort and care and convenience during some really difficult times. And then you said AARP, Tina, you talk about AARP.
I mean, we love them, and They are sponsors of Caregiver Crossing. We're so grateful. They're leading a revolution in the way people view and live life after the age of 50. And we love that they are working to empower people to choose how they live as they age. And so thank you to all of them. Until next time, we will be here next week on Caregiver Crossing, and take good care of each other.